Hi everyone, it's Louise with Louise Behr and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to embark upon another pearl pour, cloud pearl pour. And these are so much fun, but they're a little bit tricky and I'm trying to get better at it. So I have my colors here. I already did a quasi drip test. I adjusted from here to there. If you want to see a full drip test, it's in my last video in the very beginning where I show how to do a drip test. But the drip test is very important so that as your paints are running, as you're tilting, you don't have one paint that's running really fast because it's thin and another paint that's running slower because it's thicker, and then you got all these weird striation lines going everywhere. So as I talk, I'm going to just go ahead and start laying down the base to this. And this is my Artist Loft. This old Flow acrylic paint, and this is a recycled repurposed canvas, and I'm doing this so that as the paint starts to spread, being so thin, it'll have somewhere nice and strong to bite into as it's stretching out, and give those pearls a nice little spot to cling on to for dear life as they're being stretched beyond belief. And I'm almost at the end of this, but I've got a couple more bottles. And the reason why I've got somebody asked why I have the old version, and it's because I bought a bunch when I first started, and then I got side railed into blooms, and now I'm only just coming back. And when I first started, I was following Sarah Taylor a lot. Put this in water, I'll be back. Okay, I've got my colors here. Here's my base paint. I almost said pillow. Can you see the consistency on this? It is just literally thin as can be. And all the paints should have the same consistency, because once again, as you're tilting, you want all the paints to run together in unison. So am I ready to make a mess here? So let's get the the base down. In my usual style to respect people's time, I'm gonna speed up in places and cut out where I need to, but you won't miss a thing, and I'm gonna start right now. Now, how do I want to lay these colors down? So I'm going to go on fast forward here as I lay down the colors, but you'll hear everything as we go. I'm going to be starting with Liquitex's Payne's Gray. The Bordeaux. That is a combination starting with Art Mind's Rose Gold, Amsterdam's Titan Buff. This started out as Sherbet Indigo, and I added to it some Pearl Sea Green. And this is a gold combination starting out with Modern Masters. I had a little bit of Deco Art 24 karat and a little bit of Golden's Iridescent. And this last color here is Golden's Quinacridone Nicolazzo Gold, one of my favorites, and unfortunately one they're not making anymore. Now I'm going to gather a couple of my palette knives I'm planning on using for this creation. So I'm going to use these palette knives to play around with the composition before I even get started with tilting. And a couple years ago when I was working with this pearl cloud technique, I used to do this all the time. Just kind of digging in, getting the paints to blend a little bit and giving it a little direction before I even get started. And once I'm done here, I will come back to real time when I get ready to tilt, because it's important for you to see the pace in which I'm tilting at. Get it moving a little bit. Always start very slowly. Get a feel for things. I also got to get a feel for holding onto a canvas again. And what's really blowing my mind from the last pour and in this one is how that nickel azo gold is absolutely taking over. And you saw how much I put down, hardly any. So I've got to figure out what I'm going to do for paints to get the right paint combination so that I have equal opportunity paint representation here. Before I go too far. Yes, and part of understanding a technique in the process is understanding how your paints work within that technique, because not all paints work the same. And in this case here, the gold hardly showed up at all, even though I put gold down. So it's getting a familiarity not only with the process, but with how all the paints are going to work on the canvas and with each other. This is the nickel azo gold show. And I apologize for the angle here. I need to back the camera up a little bit, I guess, the next time before I get ready to paint, so you guys can see all the tilting. And it's important when you're tilting to not be shy. You need to tilt this canvas like there's no tomorrow to get all the excess paint off so that those pearls can start popping through. It is tricky. The tilting is tricky. Okay, you gotta be patient. Okay, I wanna work on this direction to start with. I gotta do something in there. I gotta break that up, I think. I think I need to add some color in there. So here I'm adding some of the blue to the palette knife to try to break up all of that nickel azo gold in one big chunk over there. But with this pearl cloud technique, the paints just get swallowed whole, and for some reason the Charbon Indigo just didn't want to stay. It just got consumed. Where are all my pearls? Hello? I'm being impatient. Stop being impatient. Here I'm adding a little Payne's Gray to the palette knife. I'm going to run it through, and as we go forward, you're going to see me doing a little more of that with different colors as we develop this. I need more color. I got a lot. A lot of Payne's Gray in there. no idea how much Nicolazo gold rules the roost here. I'm gonna run some of this pillow down here and see what happens. I love Nicolazo, but this is just too much. Too much. Trying to figure out if I want to do anything in there. I can't get the blue. The blue doesn't do anything. Oh, that's good. I'll break that up a little bit. So what I'm doing is I dipped the palette knife in the base paint to break up that section and this next section too. I can do it the other direction too. The thing I had to remember about the base paint is that once you put it through the paints, it kind of acts like a wound. It kind of lays the paint down and then the paint just spreads into the color that's there. Interesting things going on right there. These are beautiful. Here's the blue. Let's see if I can shade it with some white. These are really pretty. These are really pretty up here. So many little pieces to this. Where is the blue? My blue disappeared again. So as we go forward here, I'm going to skip cut a lot. You're not going to miss anything, and I'm really just essentially outlining all the pearls and adding a little bit of touches to give this a little more dimension and softness. Just softening things up a little bit here and there. And I mentioned earlier about getting refamiliar with the process and the technique, and that includes learning the paints, learning how they react with each other. So I have to find the right color combinations and the right paints that'll work, that'll stay preserved in the piece and give me the color combination and the effects that I'm looking for in the final creation. That just takes time and playing around and figuring things out, including possibly tweaking the recipes. I love the natural softness that this pearl cloud recipe gives. I love the pearls, but I don't want it completely taking over all the other colors. So it's just a matter of finding out what is going to work. So I'm going to put on a little music here as we go through the final touches. I think I'm going to call it done. Let's give it last torch. Okay, I'm going to call it done. So everyone, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this cloud pearl creation. At the very end, I will link a cloud pearl playlist so you can see other colors, including the last one I did last week. And at the end here, if you can let me know which orientation you prefer, I'd love to know what you think. It's a choice between 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, hit the bell and all. You'll get all my latest art tutorials, and leave a comment. I would really appreciate that. I get back with everybody, and a thumbs up would be nice too. Thanks a lot, everybody. Take care. Till next time.